Okay, well, how do you know that it's like Christianity's God?
Like what he said about the Christianity, about how God is real, it don't apply. Now, a lot of people say they truth seekers, they want to know the truth, they want to know what's really going on, but they really don't.
Who created God? God didn't come to be. God is the cause, the universe is the effect.
It sucks that people are so fact driven when facts are not even the truth.
Okay, well, how do you know that it's like Christianity's God? There's a very famous astronomer named Robert Jastrow. His credentials as a scientist are impeccable. And he said himself, being agnostic, he's not even a Christian. He said that all of the essential elements of the Big Bang Theory line up with biblical creation.
Now, this is somebody credible who a lot of scientists look up to. A lot of people who are so science-based or fact-based look up to and take his work and apply it to their work. Actually use his work to back up their work. So if he, and that's what I don't like. Sometimes people just take what they want and apply it to what they want. So when the person that they follow that goes against God or Jesus, they they just throw away what their idol said about that, but keep everything else. Like what he said about the Christianity, about how God is real, it don't apply now. And that shows more so that they are against believing in God for the sake of just not believing in him, not because they are truth seekers. A lot of people say they truth seekers, they want to know the truth, they want to know what's really going on, but they really don't. They want to know what gives credibility to their perspective of God not being real. That's what they want to know. Some people say the same thing about Christians, that we only want to get a perspective of, the credibility of God being real or Jesus being God. But I can say for me personally, I've been down that road of theorizing if God is real or not, and looking at it from a vague standpoint. Not because I didn't believe in him, but because I I've always been taught to believe in God, but I've always been my own thinker as well. Not trying to brag on it, but I've always been like, but what if it's not though? What if it don't work? What if it's. And I can say for me, there has been more experiential proof that God is real than actually theorized or facts-based proof that you can look up. Like what I'm saying is, in my life, I have experienced more supernatural encounters and things that have happened, and things that I've heard and within myself, or heard from God, or things that I've experienced or seen from God, that prove his existence than I have, you know, than I have against it. And so if you take your experiences and you take what this video is saying, you'll begin to notice at the same time that facts plus your experience, it proves that God is real. You just want to reject God so badly that you're not willing to find the truth or seek out the truth or accept the truth. Right?
Because this is how God works. God speaks something, and then science runs to catch up with what he said. Science doesn't create anything. Science studies creation. And while I'm doing this video on this topic already, let me just...
Hey, that's cold. Science studies creation. That's cold. If you honestly think about that, that's something that's like need to be broken down. Like, what a lot of people do is they study science to get an understanding of creation. But science is actually observing what God did in order to relay it back to us. And that's the thing about the Big Bang Theory. If you actually look at Genesis and it says, in the beginning God created the heaven and earth, blah blah blah, and then you listen to the the Big Bang Theory, that it was nothing and then it was something, it kind of actually lines exactly up with what the Bible teaches or says, it lines exactly up with it to let us know, yo, it was nothing. It was God that was sitting in deep darkness, and then he said, let there be light. Blah blah blah. So what they're explaining is actually something that came to pass biblically. They just are explaining it in scientific terms, and so they're trying to take God out of where he initiated, and it don't make sense. If God said let there be light, you got to think about there was no light before. So when he said that, it immediately bang became light.
Just answer a question that I always get. Who created God? God didn't come to be. God is eternal. The way a lot of people thought the universe was until science disproved it. God is the cause, the universe is the effect.
Wait, so people have proven that the universe isn't eternal? That further disproves people who are like God isn't real or there was no creator.
God is eternal. He is capable of existing outside of space, time, and matter. None of us can even wrap our little brains around that.
Nah, that's real. No, that's 100% true, and I think that's the problem. Like I got a friend now who struggles very heavily with understanding scripture and understanding the things of God, and so they have a hard time accepting them. But if we can't accept what we may not understand, we will never come to understand them. You can only understand things when you come to accept them, or you take the perspective that they are true. And so this video is just here to let you guys know that God is real. Another evidence. A lot of people, I even seen this dude on TikTok, he just stay on live and he'd be like, if you can prove that God is real, blah blah blah, I pay you this much or whatever. And a lot of people come in there just talking about faith and stuff, and he just fighting against faith. And I just be praying for him because I'm like, yo, it sucks that people are so fact driven when facts are not even the truth. People are so facts driven that facts are not where, to the point that they don't even understand that facts are not the truth. Because if I am physically sick in my body, but my Bible is telling me that I was healed when Jesus took all those lashes and were being beaten and his blood was being shed, then somebody lying. And God says, let every man be a liar, but his word stand true. And so I think that people don't understand, like, you can be like coughing or sneezing or whatever, but that's not the truth of the reality of who you are, who God made you to be. God made us to be healed. We are healed. We just have to accept that and walk in it. I remember I was driving in my truck one day, and I was just financially struggling going through, and I was like, man, God, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know where to start. I don't know what plans to even, I don't know where to begin. And he said something to me. He said, and I was crying and everything. He said, be the success that I've made you to be. He said, you're not going to be successful. He said, you are the success. And he was like, be the success that I made you to be. And that was my truth, even though fact was I didn't have no success. I didn't have nothing in my account. Faith is walking in what is not seen, as it is true. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this, and check out our podcast as well. We have the hats in the link in the bio. I love y'all.